So today I will talk about key Sheng. It's 36 pipes. So today our topic will start with the origins of Sheng and different type of Sheng and the structure, technique, the factors affecting the performance, and hygiene and tuning. And I will talk about free reed theory, so which is how Sheng could play music. Okay, and also I will talk about concert pitch, and also I will talk about my study on my Sheng. Okay, so if anyone have any questions, please feel free to stop me, and then I can answer questions at any time, or you can wait until the last section, which is the Q&A section. Okay, so let's get started now. So the origins of Sheng. So it is the oldest Chinese musical instrument. So the ancient legend, the invention myth talk about is a female ruler called Lu Hua, created about 3,000 years ago. But again, so those are the myths, right? So we have to look at the real item. So the real items are unearthed around 2,400 years ago. So in 1978, Hubei province, so they found discovered the earliest Sheng in China. Okay, so this is the origins of Sheng. So we have different types of Sheng. So traditional one and also the modernized one. So you can see the traditional one, we have different types of pipes. So we have 13, 17, 21, 24 pipes. They could be in round shape or square shape. The musician will be held by both arms and using the fingers to press the holes and to control which tube to produce the sound. Okay, so the other one is the modernized Sheng. So it's redesigned. So the Sheng configuration start from 36 pipes, 38, 42, or even as big as 52 pipes. So it's very different from the traditional one. So the traditional one, again, so we hold it by arms, but for this type of modernized Sheng, we put it on the musician laps. So and we press on the key instead of the hole. So the theory is a little bit different. So I will talk about this in the later section. So keyed Sheng. So it's about in 1960. So it's underwent many structural change. So of course there are advantages and also disadvantages. So the advantages is the first one is increased volume, which means it could be louder. And then we can cover the full chromatic scale, the range of 3 octaves. So, and also it's good for contemporary music because nowadays many composers require frequently changing the to different major or scale or minor within the one piece. So that's why the traditional Sheng could be configured with one major, so may not be adequate to fulfill the different pieces requirement. And also they introduced the new techniques. So let's say nowadays the key Sheng, we can play the scale pretty quick instead of in the past. We cannot do it well because due to the pipes arrangement. Okay, and also the latest Sheng, so they have a better design on preventing the air leakage. Air leakage is a big issue, a concern on playing wind instrument because you're losing the air, and then you cannot have a accurate pitch for the expected note. Of course, so the disadvantage, so is heavy. So as you can see, the Sheng itself, let's say go back here. So you can see the Sheng is much longer and heavier, and there are more pipes than the traditional one. Traditional one is very handy and portable, and it's easy to carry. Second, it's expensive. So the key Sheng usually the starting price is quite expensive. I would say about at least 5 times more expensive than the traditional one. So more pipes may require more efforts. So on tuning and on maintenance. So the next thing, which is we are losing some of the traditional Shang character and also the posture and also the technique. Because due to the traditional Shang, so we just use fingers to close the holes to make the sound. So we can play a half note, or we can have other fingers technique. So comparing to key Shang is using the key. So you can just press, just like digital, you can play on and off. So you cannot have half. You cannot make those special technique. Okay, so this is the disadvantage. So the Shang family, so we have, as you can see, we have a whole range of Shang. So starting from a soprano Shang, alto Shang, lower alto, and lower bass. So you can see they are in different shape, but most of them, they are 36 pipes in total. So you can see the range starting from G3 to the G6 sharp. And you can see the lower Shang is start from C2 to G4. So I'm playing 38 pipes Shang in TCO. So it's two pipes more, so which is the G6 and the G6 bar, not G6 bar, G6 sharp. Okay, so this is the configuration. So as you can see, they start with the lower lower tone in the middle. So that's why you see the middle pipe usually is much longer than the rest. So you can see when we do the fingering, we just do left, right, left, right. So this is like a chromatic scale. You can see half notes higher, half note higher, and then so until we go to C sharp, D sharp, E, and so on, so on. So we expand from left to right, left to right. So as you can see, these are my old photos. So I start to learn Shang with a smaller type, okay? And also I play with Po Shang. So this is a much bigger Shang. And also this is the 36 pipes, but without the resonant pipes. And this is a recent photos after I joined TCO. So this one has the 38 pipes plus the resonant pipes. So you can see, so there's another photo here. So Shang itself, we have different type of Shang. We can form a small ensemble, or maybe like playing some contemporary pieces. And so so we have the soprano and also the lower and alto Shang here. The structure of the Shang, okay? So basically we have three main pieces here. So the Shang pipes, okay? Shang pipes here. And also we have the Shang root, the root which is from here up to here. And also we have the Shang reed. So this is the most important part of the Shang, okay? And I'll talk about this later. And this is the bass, okay? Bass, so we have a mouthpiece here, and usually we connect, insert a tube, and so we can do breathing, and also we can do all the technique through the mouthpiece here. So some people said that the Shang tube looks like a phoenix wing. So usually the tallest tubes are sitting in the middle, and the shortest tubes are the outermost pipes. So we also have a metal ring or hoop to hold all the pipes together. So how to assemble a Shang is easy. So usually all the pipes should be sitting well on the base, and we just insert the tube, as I said before, so we can so then the Shang is already ready for playing. So some of the techniques on key Shang. So you can see we can do tremolo techniques, tongue tremolo. So we have different types of tremolo we can do. And so also we have different types of intra-oral techniques. So like voicing, flower tongue, exhaling tongue. So this is very exclusive. So only Shang can do it. Okay, it's very special due to the fact that we can do in and out, breathing in and out. So this technique is very unique. And also we can do tongue choking, pause, and chop. And finger-related techniques. So those are more applied to traditional Shang. So we can do a vibrato or clicks. And of course, Shang, we can play harmonic chord. So there are factors affecting the Shang performance. So temperature, okay? So higher temperature and lower temperature makes a Shang different. Humidity. And also air leakage. The leakage could be from the reed tongue, the Shang base, or the sound window of the key Shang. So as a Shang player, we have to check all the air leakage very often. So to make sure that there's no significant air leakage. Otherwise, your volume will be cut by half or even lower. So the next one is we have to check the installation of the Shang roots, the reed installation on the Shang wood, which means sometimes the reed could be lifting up or there's a broken wax. So I will talk about that later. Okay, so or the entire reed may fall off or broken, and that may causing another leakage. And also resonance between pipes. The reed material, so it's also critical. So the reed material, which is back to here. So as you can see, this is the reed. So this is the tongue. So you can see there's a line here. So there's a line here. So this one is the tongue of the reed. So you can see it at the back. So you can see this one, the technician will do adjusting. So you can see this one is level. But over here, you can see they use a special drill to make it thin, very thin. We call it, this one is the reed tongue. So the cutting skill is very important here. If you have a big gap in between, so there will be a air leakage again. Oh, so, here. Okay, so we have to check the sealing because the reed, we are using the yellow wax to seal up the reed. So very often we have to check the wax, make sure that there is no gap, because sometimes due to temperature, wax is sensitive to temperature. When the temperature go higher, when the player is playing a very long time or maybe in a very hot environment, so the wax could be melt and then or maybe break. Okay. So the hygiene. So usually we have two types of cleaning. So regular and also the deep cleaning. So regular one, we have to remove all the pipes from the wind chamber and have a complete wash with a mild soap and then running hot water on both the outside and inside of the wind chamber and extend the mouthpiece tube. So this is very important because if you don't wash it after your performance or after your practice, so your saliva could be stay inside the chamber. So if the temperature and humidity may get you into a very worst case scenario. So that's why regular cleaning is highly recommended. For the deep cleaning, so we have to use a special brush and to remove all the calcium deposit and other residue inside the mouthpiece. So very often when you open up the chamber, you will see some calcium inside. So that's normal. So, but we have to clean it up, make sure that they are not staying inside the chamber. That may impact the chamber quality. So during the pandemic period, so we probably use some alcohol wipes or cotton swab saturated with denatured isopropyl alcohol to kill the germs. So this is for your own health and also safety. So tuning. So we have 3 different types of tuning. So simple tuning, major tuning, and performance tuning. simple tuning is very is simple. So we just do a quick inspection and do some touch up on the with the yellow beeswax on each of the reed to the roots between the pipes and the roots of the bamboo pipes. Sorry, I should say the reed and the roots of the bamboo pipes. So this way we can secure all pipes with no air leakage. So later on we will add the other red color wax and to fine tune to the target frequency. So this is a simple tuning. For major tuning, so that involves a longer time. We have to spend more time to prepare there's something called the green layer stuff. So what is that? So I will talk about this later. We also will inspect all the amplifier chamber and make sure that there's no damage. And because that one is very fragile, so sometimes the shape could be bent, and we have to make sure they maintain the shape. Otherwise, that may impact the pitch. Okay. And also we will check any sticky pad. So because this is a key sung, so key sung we have a pack inside. So we have so so let's say if you pay a couple years, the pack could be wear, so you have to replace if necessary. And also we will check the screw torques on support arm. And some people may consider to redo the painting on the amplifier chamber. So or the wind chamber or even the bamboo pipes. So some people may just make it better shape, and so that for to attract audience during performance. So performance tuning. So the purpose of the green layer coating is avoiding the saliva stay on the reed during the performance. So this may impact to the tune of the pitch. And it also brings the reed a better sound and allowing players to do some special technique. So as I have mentioned about, so we have some Shang exclusive techniques. So this relies on the green stuff here as well. Okay, so preparing the green stuff is very time consuming. So we have a special stone to do it, to rub it with water and copper plates. So to make sure that we have a thick, high viscosity fluid. So again, so it may take several days to weeks to get this fluid ready. So after the tuning, we have to, after individual pipes tune, we have to do the chords, the common chords tuning. So as you can see, this is the tuning tools. So this is the copper plates I have mentioned. This is so you can see we have the copper carbonate hydroxide mineral. So, and also we have the mercury second sulfide. So, which is this guy. So this is the mercury sulfide. And so this one has the mercury. So that's why we can, mercury is toxic somehow. But this one has a weight. So we can put, usually we put the wax, the red color wax on the tongue of the reed. So to adjust the weight, and then so we can adjust the frequency. So the beeswax and the rosin. So this one is for sealing the reed to the bamboo pipes. Okay, so these are the common things. So for, as I have mentioned, right, for the performance tuning, we have to use this mineral. So the special copper carbonate hydroxide mineral, we have to keep rubbing. As you can see, there are some residual color here. So those are the green stuff. So we will apply to the surface of the reed, which is on each pipe. So, and now we can go to a little bit detail. So what is Shang? Shang is a free reed, okay? So it has a vibrating reed tongue constructed or mounted in a way that allows to vibrate back and forth through its reed plate and frame. So what does it mean? So which means, so this is the frame. As I have mentioned, so the expert will be cutting like a small gap here, so to make the tongue. So that's why this one can go up and down. So depends on the pressure. Okay, so that's why we call this one back and forth. So that's what this is what we call free reed. So usually this reeds is already have a predefined sounding frequency. Okay, so let's say A, so it's around A already. So you cannot make A to some other other tones. So so the tongue, which is the reed tongue position, is very important. So when we do the installation, we have to make sure the tongue is not peeling up or going down. Otherwise, there will be some unwanted noise when you are playing other notes. So again, so as I have mentioned, right? So the manufacturing of the 3 weeks on Shang is by handmade mostly. So it's really subject to the plate, the thickness, so thickness and quality of the material. So whether this is a good material or not, and also the cutting tools and the skills. Those are very important. So that's the reason why the Shang price could range by a lot. So some cheaper Shang could be with poor quality reed. So as a result, people like some beginners may try to get a cheaper Shang. But they may figure out there are lots of pitch issue or maybe so there's some air leakage and so people may feel frustrated and then they may give up for paying Shang. So that's why well, if I would recommend people, if you are considering to buy a Shang, you better to buy a decent one so that you will enjoy this instrument instead of having frustration every day. So the production, the sound production here. So so this one I have mentioned, right? So the reed tongue so require the fine tune. Okay, so we can add or remove the red color wax. Okay, so to the target frequency. So again, so the 3 week wide bass at the pitch according to the length of the attached air column. So what does it mean? So each pipe, so it's an air column. Okay, so inside there is a round circle hole we call the sound window. So covered by the amplifying chamber to the roots of the bamboo pipe. So, but on the other hand, the traditional 21 pipe Shang is very different. So they do not have a key. So that's why they have only a hole, which is the sound window. Okay, so the major difference is you have to press the key, press the hole for the traditional 21. And on the other side, you press the key to release the hole on the key shunt. So this is two different things. So the risk and the resonance, and so the size of the air hole opening and also the length of each of the pipe will impact to the tone quality and the pitch. So now back to the question, right? So why do orchestra always tune to A or G? Okay, so first of all, so this is a concert pitch. What does it mean? So concert pitch is usually defined the orchestra using 440 or 442, usually reference to A or G. The second reason is many of the string and the pluck string instruments, so they have either open A or G string. And also, as you can see the table here, so the A notes and the G notes, they have a whole number here. Instead of other frequency, you can see there's a decimal number here. Okay, so so how do we get this table here? So actually, we are using an equation called the 12 roots of 2. Okay, so this come up the number which is 1.059. So how does it work? Okay, so there are 12 set semitones in the octave. So this is the base frequency. And then, so we times this factor 1.059 to the power of n. N stands for the semitones away from the fixed note. So then you will get the next frequency. For example here, so it's a B flat is next to A. So you can see the A frequency, which is here, times the factor, which is 1.059 to the power of n. So let's say the frequency A is 440. So you times 1.059, you get the B fat, which is 466,163. So you can see B fat, and you can see this is the next frequency here. So you can use this equation to find out all notes or the next octaves as well. So why tuning with Sheng? So unlike other musical instruments, Chinese musical instruments, so once my instrument is tuned, so it is almost impossible to make any change or any adjustment on the stage. So as it is, so that's why if I make if my Sheng goes higher or lower, and so due to the fact that I cannot change, so usually the orchestra will follow as well. Otherwise, you may hear a higher and lower pitch, so which is not good for the audience. So why we have to tune with Sheng multiple times during the performance? So it's a good practice, right? So because during the performance, so temperature change and the pitch may change still, and also humidity may change. So that's why my instrument may go higher or lower. So that's why tuning in between is a good practice. So concert pitch, so it's between 440 Hertz and 442. So why we pick 442 here? So first, so it's slightly higher pitch, and it will resonance better than the standard tuning, which is 440. So, and also this one will give a brighter sound. And so many audience are used to hearing the concert pitch, and also which is a little bit higher. So people prefer to hear like sharp instead of fat. So if you hear a fat, most people probably may notice about that. And again, so the speed of sound, so the reference is 343 meter per second at temperature 20 degrees. So higher temperature have more kinetic energy. So it can vibrate faster and allow the sound to travel quicker. So, but again, so there's some calculations showing the temperature change may affect the speed of sound. So if we change from 440 to 442, which is the A4, which is the higher than the middle C A, so you can see this is the frequency table. So if we are in tune, so you can see this diagram here. So if we are in tune, so the two waveform will be superimposed together to get the maximum amplitude. But however, if we are not in tune, if there is a frequency difference, so you can see the resultant of the waveform is getting diminished. So that's why if you are not in tune with 442, so you may hear something like loud and weak and strong and weak sound. Do I still have time to go on more?
For sure, I have. It's only 8:46.
Okay. So far, any questions so far? If not, then I will move on. So have a quick run on the rest of the presentation slide. So Shang is an open pipe. Okay. So as you can see, open pipe. The wavelength will be lambda equal to the 2 times of the length. So which is half lambda here. So why I'm showing here? Because I want to show you the sound quality, which is the timbre here. So so people ask, right, why if the same musical note is sounded on erhu, let's say erhu, and also play on Sheng, why the untrained listener can tell the difference? So the waveform of the notes is never simple, harmonic, like tuning fork. Tuning fork is a pure note. So, but our instruments like erhu or Sheng, so we can play harmonics, or we call overtones. So that's why the overtones will make the sound different. This is what we call the quality of timbre. So some of the effects like a vibrato, which is a frequency modulation, which means the frequency change. That's why you move your fingers a little bit to change the length of the string or on the string instrument, right? So you can do the vibrato effect. For the tremolo, so it's an amplitude, which means making louder and weaker sound. So usually we can use frequency spectrum to measure the amplitude and also measure the phase angle between the waveforms, and also we can look at the harmonics as well. So, but I'm not going into the details here. Okay, so next, again, so Sheng has open chip design. We can apply the equation, which is frequency equals to n times the velocity of the speed of sound divided by the length of the pipe. So why I'm showing you the equation here? So it's because I want to show you the beautiful design of Shang. So L in this case is the length between the roots of the Shang to the sound window. So again, so the speed of sound is 333 meter per second. So I calculate based on this equation, I calculate the expected length of my Shang. So for my calculation below, so the length from the sound window to the Shang root is usually set to the target note plus the perfect fourth or 5 semitones higher than the target note. What does it mean? So for example, I have F sharp key here. Measuring the length, which is, so over here, inside you cannot see. So there is a sound hole here, okay? So which means I measure extended to the end of the tube. So you can see here is around 34.2 centimeter. So 34.2, so based on the target notes here, the resonant length, so this is F4 bar. Not bar, I have F sharp 4. So if you look at here, so suppose should be 46.36138. So that's why I put down here. This is the expected length. So, but again, so based on my calculation, so this is the base note. The perfect fourth will be B4. So according to the table, the length should be 34.7. So the measurement is 34.2, so very close. So, and then I pick other tubes as well. So 26. On this one is on the traditional 21 pipes Sheng. So let's say the note is C5, 26 centimeter. You can see this one off by a little bit, but still maintain the perfect four nature. So so that's why the resonant tubes, which mean the bamboo pipes, has defined length. It's not just randomly pick some pipes and bundle them together. This is not true. So they have a math behind, so to calculate the length from the wind hole to the roots of the shunt. So of course, so not it's not perfect. It's not a perfect world. Okay, so we have to do some pipe adjustment or correction, as you can see here. So so people probably may put some wax here and to block the pipe here. So before we apply the width here, so that's why the air column will be calculated from here to the wind hole in the a bit far away. So this one we can fine tune the pitch. Otherwise, you after you put the width here, you cannot make the expected pitch. And also the pitch correction. So again, right? So we put the red color wax over here. So that one will adjust the weight, and then so we can fine tune to 442. So, but I also figure out that this position is well defined as well. So it's based on the if the note is G, E, and C, so they will put it around augmented fourth or diminished 5 for any sharp like C sharp, F sharp pipe. So they're about 5 semitones higher again. And also, how about the amplifier chamber here? So you can see this one, the metal tube here. So it's also there's an equation behind. So which is for example the F4 bar pipe. So they usually make it one octave higher, which is a F5 sharp F sharp 5. So you can see the table here. So the resonant chamber measured 23.2 centimeter, which is here. And so one octave higher, which is 23.18. So this one is referring to the table over here. Yeah, so over the, oops. Yeah, so everything is based on the table here. So this table is for the Sheng maker, so they can make up the measurement and also the design of the Sheng. Yeah, so I think I have everything for today already. So let's do, let me see, just a second. So any questions so far?
Thank you, Calvin. That was very informative, actually.
And I still have a video to show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so let me get this ready and then I'll share. Can you see?
So what happens if something breaks during a performance? Then you cannot really fix it then.
Yeah, we cannot fix it. So well, we have to walk down the stage and do some emergency fix. Yeah, can you?
Do Shang player bring two Shang to performances?
Okay, so this is the, can you hear?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I still have the second one. Okay, just a second. So the first one I just showed is a 38 pipes Shang, the key Shang. So you can hear the tone is a bit soft and but bright. So now I'm going to show you the other one, which is a traditional one. Yeah. So so you can hear. So this type of Shang is very different and a little bit rough and tough. So more techniques on this Shang. Actually, volume is also sounds like louder because this one usually we pair out with the harmonics as well, and more techniques on the tongue and also the fingering. So that makes traditional Shang very unique. Okay, so I hope you will enjoy this section. So is there any questions for me?
Calvin.
Yeah.
Okay. So far you haven't actually explained how a sound make the sound.
Oh, yeah.
Go into the tube, how it produce the sound.
Well, the tube is okay. So this one is based on the air column. Okay, so the air column, which is from the sound hole to the bottom of the shunt. So this is the length. This is the air hole. This is the air column. Once we press, so for traditional shunt, once we press the hole, so the air column will fill up with the air. So that's why they will pull. So the resonance effect will amplify the reed frequency. So as I mentioned, right, the reed has the defined frequency. So that one is already vibrating. So, but the resonance will make it louder. So can I answer your question already?
Yeah, I know, because I play Shang too, but there's a concept that most people would not understand is that when you blow in the hole, all the reed will vibrate, all 36 of them will vibrate.
No.
Slightly, yes.
Well, which means you have an installation problem. So
they won't make any sound.
Sorry?
They won't make any sound. It's the resonance of the pipe that vibrate the particular reed.
You have to press the hole to fill up the air. So in order to enable the pipes to sound, otherwise for other pipes will be idle. So they won't make any sound. But some people
they will vibrate.
Well, but some people probably questions are from so why is paying a little bit breathing? So, but you can hear other pipes making noise. So that is probably I have referred back to the installation problem. So if the reed is not like a sitting properly, or maybe the reed tongue is peering up or downward, you can make such noise. Yeah. Do you have more questions?
Okay. And another thing is how to make a sound louder when it is in crescendo or decrescendo. How you make it softer or how to make it louder? Is it purely by the air you blow into it?
Yes. Yeah, and also depends on the shunt, whether you, as I mentioned, right? So if you have air leakage, then you cannot control the air volume. So, but nowadays most of the shunt, so they are well designed on shielding. So that's why I don't need to have too much of breathing in order to have a loud sound. Or so it's pretty. So if you see, you cannot do the dynamic. So you have to check is there any leakage, or maybe some wax broken, or maybe some is not installed properly. Yeah.
Thank you, Calvin. Actually, I have a quick question is, so you have 10 fingers. Does this mean you can only play maximum of 10 notes at the same time, or?
Not really, because some fingers could be idle. Depends on the Shang, right? So for traditional Shang, so some of the fingers are we put it on to holding the chamber. So you have only probably 8 fingers you can use for playing note. So for traditional Shang, I would say 8 notes is the maximum. For the key Shang, so because we can press 10 technically, yes, but does it sound good? So this is my question for you. Yeah, so it may not be sound good if you press 10 notes together, because so like key Sheng is pretty big. So so you have the index finger inside and then the rest of the finger outside. So it's difficult to maintain 10 notes playing together.
Thank you, Kevin. I think Shu has a question too.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
that's a very good presentation. Thanks, Kevin. I have two questions quickly. So for the Sheng, I had a couple months for the saxophone practice. And then after I play the saxophone, so I need to use something to clean up the moisture, something like that. Are you doing the same thing for Sheng?
As I said, right? Yes. So after every use, right? So don't use a hair dryer to dry your Sheng. No, never do that, because the temperature may screw up the wax, and also the mercury wax, as I have mentioned, the red dot. So usually we just for here. So if you have space, you can just take it out and then expose the wick, so then let it dry out. Or you can use a paper towel to soak the moisture. And also, as I have mentioned, right, you have to clean up the base, right? So the base usually is removable, so you can just take off the base and use a running water, and then you can clean it up, and so that should work.
Okay, got you. Thank you. Second quick question is, what is to you what is the big challenge to the Sheng player? Is the fingers or something?
I would say that the tongue techniques. And so you have to get used to breathing in and breathing out, right? And also your tongue should be sensitive to do all types of techniques. So as I have mentioned, there's an exclusive technique called the tongue tremolo. So that one is a big challenge. So it would take a long time to get to that stage. Yeah, fingering is also important. So because different type of Sheng, we have different fingering. Okay, so traditional one does not apply to the key Sheng. So for me, so when I get used to play traditional Sheng, so that's why all the notes. So so I remember, let's say the position of A is different on the key Sheng. So when I switch over to the key Sheng, so my first difficulties is to make sure that I'm not getting the wrong note. Because if you make a wrong note, it's very obvious. People may aware you didn't play it well. Yeah.
Okay, got you. Thank you. Excellent.
Anthony has a question, I think.
Sure.
Hello. But thank you very much, Calvin, for such a wonderful talk, because it's just amazing and mind-blowing. Such packed with so much detail that we can't find anywhere else on the internet. I have a few questions. One is about maintenance, like how you like get right down to it and like put all the pipes and actually like adding the red dot, etc., the red wax. Where do you get all the maintenance tools and how much time do you like? How often and how much time do you need to do that?
Good question. So most of the tools I get it from my friends in Hong Kong, or you can order online. So to my understanding, there are a couple of music store in Taiwan. They offer online ordering. So they have everything like the tuning kit. So you can order from there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So the next question is how often we do the tuning. Okay. So usually before the performance, I will do a major tuning. Okay. So so it depends on where you store your instrument, right? So if you keep it in a dry area, or maybe, but do not put it under the sunlight, and the temperature may affect the accuracy of the pitch, right? So if you store it well, so you can keep it for, let's say, a couple months. So you can maintain it. So, but let's say when you bring it up, okay, when you start playing. So you figure out something like the pitch is not accurate, then you have to go back to do the tuning again. And also always check for any wax is not keeping the reed right on the bamboo pipes. This is very important because many users, they are not aware of the broken hole, or there could be a hole. Yeah, so because the yellow wax, you just seal up the reed, right? So very often you see holes. So the air could be leakage from there.
Wow. And how long would it take you to tune the Shang? And like
So,
a day or two, a week?
Yeah, like, depends. So for basic tuning, so so let's say I have 38 pipes, I have to seal up every pipes again. So it may take about 1 hour or two. Yeah, because you not only this, sometimes you have to take the whole reed off because you cannot keep applying the wax, because otherwise it will accumulate and then the whole thing will be lifting up. So then that will be a disaster. So sometimes you have to take the whole thing off, clean it up, and I would say put back the reed so that they have a good contact.
Oh,
yeah.
So
So this is a basic one. So, but before the performance, usually I will make sure that all the pipes are in tune. So that may take about 1 or 2 days sometimes.
wow, like 8 hours a day. Like,
no, not that long. So probably a couple hours a day. So
couple hours. Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, because I cannot afford whole day doing the
Oh,
tuning.
wow. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Because the reason I'm asking, because we have a keyboard, a keyboard Sheng, but it's quite a leaky, and we are not sure how to like fix the some notes are not sounding well at all. So I was wondering if we need to find some like someone who knows to make to repair it, or I can do that myself.
Usually for like me, right? So I learned Shang many years ago. So
Wow.
my teachers, the first thing to teach me is do the tuning and fixing the Shang as well.
Nice.
So without this technique, you don't know how to fix your problem. Yeah, so I think if you cannot find someone, so I would say try to contact, see whether you can ship the equipment to Asia, because to my understanding in Taipei there are some master Shang player, so they offer like a fixing, tuning, and for everyone. So you can contact them if you want. Yeah, if you don't know, if you don't have that knowledge, then you have to find someone in this area, so to do a better job for you.
Oh, thank you very much. And if you don't mind, may I ask more questions?
Sure. Yeah. How about other people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Go
Other people first. I can come back and ask later. Anyone else?
I do have a question.
Sure.
So it's my understanding that Sheng is the only instrument that can play two notes at the same time, like wind instrument specific. They can, have two different notes at the same time. So will that actually amplify the volume, or is that actually the other way around, because the air is, split into two different notes?
So again, so the volume is controlled by your breathing, right? So if you have a deep breathing and blowing hard, and you may make a loud noise. So, but also having two notes, you can play very polite and soft as well. So it's controlled by air.
Interesting.
Amanda's got a question.
Yep, sure. Please go ahead.
Oh, I was just thinking, because I've seen Shangs that are big, and because of all the pipes, and some are made of bamboo, some are made of metal. So, but I see you are playing so lightly. So I just wonder, is it heavy to hold and play it?
It's okay. The key Shang itself is very heavy. Okay, so that's why it's limited performance posture. So that's why when you refer to my video, so the key sound, highly likely I have to put it on my lap to do the performance. But for the traditional one, it's portable, it's light. I can do all kind of gesture I want. So because usually Shang probably use it for celebrating, for happiness. So that's why. So you use the motion to add on top of your music. So make it more a better atmosphere, I would say. Yeah. So
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Go back to Anthony.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, thanks. Anyone else? Anyone else?
Questions are always welcome.
Okay, if not, I'm going to ask really amateur questions because
I'm an amateur too.
Well, you're amazing. You've been playing for like 30 years or so.
No. The traditional Shang, I learned it like many years ago, but I stopped it for many years as well because for studying and because I this is my hobby only, so I cannot spend too much hours on this instrument. So that's why I stopped probably for 10 years and then come back and join TCO as a Shang player. And I started with 21 pipes first. And after a few years, I figured out the traditional Shang cannot satisfy the composer need. So that's why I try to pick up the key Shang, which is more pipes and it's easier to make any change, like on scale, major or minor. Yeah.
Wow, really amazing. The reason I'm asking is see, Alan Ching, who is like the one of the directors of the Edmonton Chinese Philharmonica. He has been trying very hard for many years to find Shang player, so, and like people Shang players in we are, like it's really in Edmonton where there are not too many Chinese people. Shang player came and went, and we happen to be in the same Catholic parish, and where I played the organ, the electronic pipe organ, and so. Hey, we have something similar, so I asked you to play that. Although he like for the long term, he thinks we should buy like a proper either keyed Sheng or traditional Sheng that is used for because the keyboard is not really not quite a real and he would like me to try to learn it, but I'm not sure like the time commitments, like how long would it take to learn the Sheng, like the fingering and like the maintenance and also the cost, like the phenomenon, like the group will be purchasing Sheng, but like what kind of price range should we be looking at? Like what kind should we start with? Like can we just do with just the key Sheng in the beginning? And things like that. And
yeah, so yes, I would recommend you to try it out with the key Sheng first. Because a traditional one has the limitation. So I think your orchestra direction probably wants to do more big orchestra work. So traditional Sheng may not satisfy the composer need. So and also learning the key Sheng is easier. Actually, as I have shown you the layout of the Sheng, so actually they go inside and outside, inside and outside. So this one is easier to manage. So again, so traditional Sheng is very different. A here, B here, C is here, D here, E here, F here, G here. So it's very difficult to remember all the pipes. Okay, so I would recommend to start with key Sheng first. The second question is about the pricing, right? So as I have mentioned, if you buy a lower, I would say cheaper Sheng, and you probably may suffer with the tone and pitch. I would rather to spend a bit money to your investment, right? So to buy a decent one. Yeah. So then you will have a much brighter and good pitch, so to impress your audience.
Like what kind of price range would be like a decent one? Let's say, and what kind of start with? Sorry, should we get like 中音声定係高音聲? Like what kind of like which if we just get one, what should we start with?
I would say the 高音聲 is more important because so there are more rhythm, or maybe more composer will compose the Goyam Sheng part instead of the lower parts. Yeah, but the lower parts always can cover by cello, bass, or other bass instrument, right? So
nice.
yeah, so but the price range, yes, it's very expensive nowadays. When I get my Sheng, so I bought it from Taipei, actually, the music shop. So that one cost me about 5,000 Canadian dollars.
Okay.
So to start with, but that was back to almost 10 years ago. So but I think the pricing go up crazy recently because due to the material. So the copper is expensive, the workmanship is expensive. So that's why adding together. So nowadays easily they can hit $8,000, $9,000 for a decent one. Yeah. So but you have to check your budget, right? So if your budget still limited, I would say don't go for the lowest price. Okay, go for the middle range, and that will make it better, make things better.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think we can save up for money. Just just the commitment needed to maintain the instrument, because the one we had is kind of in bad shape because it was not maintained that well, and maybe so I think that's something we have to think hard before we make the investment.
And also, as again, right, so tuning is important. So you have to learn how to do the tuning yourself. So it's very expensive to ship out every time to ask someone to do it for you. So you have to get the tuning tool and also learn how to do the tuning yourself. But again, so it's not easy to do it yourself because if you let's say the red dots, if you put it a little bit more or extra, so the whole thing will be spreading out, and you know this is wax, right? So they will fill up the gap, and so you won't make any noise at all. So and it's very difficult to clean up the wax because they may go into the gap, and eventually if you don't know how to do it, so that you may damage the reed, and then so the whole thing will be gone. You have to buy replacement. Yeah, so better find someone to teach you how to do the tuning and in a proper way.
Oh, I see. Thank you so much. That's wonderful, wonderful teaching. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Patty.
Yeah, actually, this is to talk to Anthony.
Oh, okay.
There may be somebody in Vancouver that can help you with your Shang.
Oh, wow. Oh, nice. Oh.
That might know something about Shang or about tuning and things like that.
Yeah.
We can actually I can check that out for you if you like.
Yeah. Sure.
Vancouver is much closer to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe they may be able to help you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, maybe may not do it right away, but I think in the next year or two, maybe looking into like reviving the instrument or something. And also, Alan has been talking about purchasing a new Sheng. So yeah, I think I'll talk with him and see how we work this out. I'm just afraid because I'm kind of lazy. I'm just afraid of the time commitment, so like that. But yeah, thank you so much. Yeah,
you're welcome.
Anthony, you want to buy a Sheng and you want to learn it yourself, or you want to give it to somebody else to learn it?
Aaron would like me to, because right now I'm the Sheng player that Aaron found, but I'm kind of too lazy, so I'm kind of worried about the time commitments, and also I worry that I don't practice enough or not doing enough, that I would waste the Sheng. So. But yeah, he's actually asked me if I would like to take Sheng lesson over the internet, especially now during the pandemic. It presents such opportunity that wasn't there before, but I'm just kind of on the fence because I'm kind of busy with other work too. So I'm just
it's a very expensive instrument, so you need
exactly
to take care of it. If you just give it to a student, they don't care because it's not theirs. It's just like that. You don't want to buy an expensive violin to give a student and they don't take care of it.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm worried that I'm that student that don't take care of the instrument well enough, then it will be totally wasted. So it's a big decision.
Use your own money to buy it, then you will take care of it.
Oh yeah, true.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I will think about it. Yeah, because we can still kind of make it kind of works like with the keyboard Shang, but it's not good enough. But it's kind of good enough for our amateur concerts. But yeah, it's just something that I think Alan and the group is thinking about, like for future growth. Yeah,
good stuff. But thank you, Anthony, for all those are good questions, and thank you, Calvin, too. Are there any other question or things you would like to share with the group here? Just to remind, we have so basically we have guests from outside Canada. We also have guests from across Canada tonight. So very good stuff, Calvin. Is there anyone else have any burning question you want to ask?
I accept any challenge.
But so far, because there are so much, I'm still processing. It's very impressive to know not just the music part, but also the science part. It's actually way more complicated than I thought.
Yeah.
And is there anything else the orchestra can do to make your life easier when you go to performance or rehearsals? Oh, but Calvin, I want to thank you again for preparing all those information and sharing your experiences and your knowledge with us. And so this is actually great timing too. So thank you also once again for everyone who's joined us today. Our next experiential night will be the end of February. So stay tuned, we'll share more information later. So thank you again, Calvin. Very nice to know so much more about Shang.
You're welcome. Yeah. Thanks for joining my section today.
And if we don't see some of you soon, have a wonderful Lunar or Chinese New Year. We'll see you guys next time.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.